What's going on, Broncos country? A&J back, and we're back with some Broncos talk. And needless to say, I'm in a much better mood today, thankfully. So yeah, we'll get right into things. I mean, let's just be real. The shock of the Bo Nix injury definitely hit us all the same way. It certainly had me in a bit of a mood pretty much throughout the night on Saturday night, and even for a bit on Sunday morning. And it really doesn't help that I've had to listen to a bunch of people who just, I'm sorry, for all intents and purposes, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's just being real about it. We'll talk about why that is here in a moment. But anyway, we're going to just jump right into things. I want to talk about the receiving corps, specifically Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin. Those are guys that actually, well, Pat Bryant actually played. He was actually a huge factor in the hot start that the Broncos had at the beginning of the game against Buffalo on Saturday, and actually had a few catches for, I want to say, at least 50 yards. I guess I got to look at the box score again for that. But he was the big reason why our offense was flowing at first. And of course, Jaleel doing his thing, RJ here and there. I mean, it was just all going pretty well, just up until the point that he had gotten hurt yet again with another concussion. That's something in the long run I feel like is a little bit concerning, but we'll talk about that another time. I do also have to bring up the fact that Troy Franklin did not suit up on Saturday. He was not available. He was nowhere to be seen on the field. They actually activated Elijah Moore, who didn't really end up seeing the field, but at the same time, it really just was a matter of what was the rest of the team able to do. And we got a big performance out of Marvin Mims, of course. Cortland Sutton actually got going late or in the second half, but you definitely need to see more from him, especially with a couple of drops that he had late in the game that really are just a bit inexcusable. But it's court, so I'm pretty sure we're not going to see that the same way again. But for me, if we're able to get both Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant out there this Sunday against the New England Patriots for the AFC Championship, we got as good a shot as any, especially with Jarrett Stidham at the helm, because obviously you got to have your key receivers there, and both of these guys are definitely that, and there's just no denying it at this point. We're going to move right along to talk about J.K. Dobbins again. Of course, this is that week. It was said that if we were to expect him back, it would be as early as the conference title game. Now, of course, that's not going to be guaranteed. Obviously, he's got to get to the practice field, specifically on Wednesday first, but that remains to be seen, unfortunately. He was on the side field doing his workouts that way, him and Luke Wattenberg, both of which are actually eligible to come back if activated off the IR. But again, they would have to both be in practice this week, and especially in the case of Wattenberg, you'd like to hope that would actually wind up coming to fruition, especially given the situation with Alex Forsythe. He actually left the game with an injury. I don't know that, yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't come back, but regardless, getting Luke back would absolutely be huge, especially because it's right now, as of now, just Sam Mustipher. And I take nothing away from Big Sam Mustipher, but it just would make a huge difference if Luke Wattenberg was available for this game, and especially because of the interior pass rush that the Patriots bring to the table. And make no mistake, that's pretty good shit. But against an offensive line like the Denver Broncos, it's not going to work quite the same way that it did against the Houston Texans, or even for that matter, the LA Chargers, which they did really good in those games, but it's not like it's going to be the same thing against Denver. And on top of that, they're coming into a hostile crowd. So I don't really know necessarily that they're going to have the same success. They'll be pretty good, and I'm sure that they're going to actually put out the best performance that they possibly can. But I feel like between that and the defense, especially looking at their offensive line, which I'm going to be perfectly honest. I was actually disappointed in what I saw when it came to the New England offensive line. So, with all the things that happened to Neil Hunter, Will Anderson getting in and getting strip sacks on um, Drake May, I mean, Nick Bendino literally got a strip sack on Josh Allen, and Josh Allen, to me, or really for all that it's worth, Josh Allen is the better overall player than Drake May, and it's not even close. Drake May is great, and he's going to be one of the best in the league down the road. But as of right now, you put the two of them against one another, I'm taking Josh Allen all fucking day. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But back to JK here. I feel like as long as he's able to get to the practice field this Wednesday, which I'm actually pretty confident he will be based on the things that I've heard. But if he's able to be out there, I feel like he'll have a good shot at not only being on the field this Sunday, but he'll wind up having a significant enough of an impact to where really and truly it's just gonna work pretty well against the Patriots, especially to get that boost in the run game. And as long as you throw in along with that RJ Harvey and Jaleel McLaughlin, I have a tough time believing that the Broncos aren't able to beat the Patriots. It's just, I don't see it any other way. But with that said, we of course got to talk about it. Obviously, it's sort of the elephant in the room of sorts. And again, we all felt the shock of it. Of course, Bo Nix being out for the rest of the season. And I'm still not particularly happy about that. It just is unfortunate because he's actually taken some shots this year. But he definitely took some against the Bills. There's just no denying that. And really, through it all, I guess it was probably only a matter of time before something like that happened. And it's football, especially in the NFL. It's going to be like this from time to time. And we just caught the raw end of the deal. But the good news is we got Jarrett Stidham, and this is what's laughable to me more than anything else. I've been in a lot of Twitch chats recently, and they're talking about Jarrett Stidham being in there. All of that significantly reduces their chances. And sure, on paper that's the case. But the thing about it, people forget this dude's actually a lot better than what they think. Had a start against the San Francisco 49ers during his time with the Las Vegas Raiders, and he was actually killing it. Ended up winning the game, actually. And we're acting like that isn't something that actually matters. We're talking about prime competition. It's the 49ers. I know they got their ass beat on Saturday, but of course they dealt with injuries, the likes of Fred Warner, and of course the Achilles tear for George Kittle, which they obviously missed him. I think that was more than evident. I mean, Brock Purdy wasn't anything remotely the same. I don't even think I noticed Christian McCaffrey at all, if at all. You know? So, all those things to be considered, you know, Jarrett Stidham brings in a steady hand. Perhaps even, if you wanted to make the argument, more so than what Bo Nix does. Because while Nix does some incredible things, Stidham will actually, for one, use the tight ends more. I feel like they're going to be more reliant on the run game because while Stidham can actually move in and out of the pocket himself and get some pretty good scrambles, he's a hell of an athlete as well. He's just not an athlete on the same level as Bo. His arm probably isn't on the same level as Bo either. But he's a veteran, and he's got the experience that, if nothing else, I think a lot of teams would covet. And Sean Payton has himself in a good situation because look at his track record. When Drew Brees went down, you had Teddy Bridgewater, you had Taysom Hill, you even had Jameis Winston at one point. I don't know what else there is to say about that. And now you got a guy like Jarrett Stidham who, as far as I'm concerned, is a lot better than all those guys put together. Although Teddy, when he was at his best, it was hard to believe that he couldn't be a guy somewhere, whatever the case may be. But obviously that hasn't worked out for him. He's become a career backup, similar to Stidham. But to me, Stidham is arguably, if not the best backup in the league. and say what you want to about it. That's just your ignorant ass opinion. And that's bullshit to boot, because obviously you don't pay attention to the correct things, you don't watch the film, and really all there is to it, you're just looking for an excuse to knock the Broncos whether you want to admit it or not. That's just the reality. And you can listen to me saying that and talk all your bullshit all you want to, which I know you probably are, at least for all the non Broncos fans. But the other thing that a lot of people are forgetting about is this dude was there in New England during the Brady Belichick era. Let's think about that for a second. And on top of the fact that, again, I'm pretty disappointed in what I saw with the New England offensive line, he knows all the shit that they're doing and that they're gonna do. It's literally the same fucking shit. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. It's the same shit. It's literally the same offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, aka Josh McDipshit, and Mike Vrabel was a linebacker on that team for many years and actually ended up on that defensive staff as well before branching out into the Tennessee job and even being a part of the Ohio State coaching staff, amongst other things. And for me, obviously, Mike Vrabel ain't no joke as a coach. He's going to have them primed and ready. I certainly have no doubt about that. They're certainly going to have film, at least on the Broncos defense and everything else about the Broncos offense, but they don't have film on Stidham as a Broncos quarterback. And this is where it is a little bit tricky. It is going to be his first start this season. The only action he's seen this year is in preseason, but that's not going to be all that big a deal because this happened before, particularly back in 2017, and this is what's really laughable. It's literally Nick Foles all over again, and I don't give a fuck what you feel on this. It's prone to work out the same way. Backup quarterbacks have a really good track record in the Super Bowl. Look at Doug Williams, Mark Ripken, Jeff Hostetler, and hell, Tom Brady was a fucking backup. And then there's Nick Foles, who beat Tom Brady, by the way. The New England Patriots Tom Brady. Need I say more? And with that, that's where I'm going to leave it at that for now. I wanted this to be a little more extensive because I had to get all that in. But either way, let me know what y'all think down below, especially if you're Broncos country. Are you as confident as I am with Jarrett? I mean, I don't see any reason not to be. It's going to be a steady hand at the helm. And there are just no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But let me know what y'all think down below. Of course, like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Definitely hit that notification bell. Also, we will be going live on Sunday, and I'm thinking about 12:45, 12:50 Mountain Time. Of course, that's going to be, I believe, 2:45, 2:50 East Coast time. So look forward to that. YouTube and Twitch, A&J Network is where you want to be. And with that, this has been your time with A&J, and I thank you for spending it with me.